with the Nifty Thrifty Lady. I wanted to talk to you about how I save money on meat. This is one of the most common questions that I get when I'm teaching classes because coupons for meat are not readily available. You can find them, but a lot of people also like to choose a less processed type of meat. So it is really hard, and I will be the first to admit that it is really hard to find coupons and a lot of money savings on local, organic, grass-fed, all-natural meat. It's hard, and sometimes you just have to make that up in your budget. So maybe you're couponing for all of your personal care and all of your household items. That's one way to do it. We definitely always have one meatless meal a week, sometimes two, and that is one way that I save on meat. Another way that I save on meat is using 1 pound per meal. And this can vary per family because if you have 4 people, that's 1/4 pound of meat per person, which I think is reasonable, and I'm not even sure if that is a portion size. I think that may be a little bit more. But if you have a family of 6, 8, 10, you're going to need to use more meat to get them just that minimum amount of meat. But what we do is if my family is going to be hungry for something like tacos, we will sometimes use 2 pounds of meat, very rarely, but I add in beans or I add in lentils. So I find fillers and add that in. The third way that I save in meat is that I never serve meat by itself. There's never one evening that we have dinner that meat is the only thing we have and is in the main attraction. I always make a good veggie and I try to make a good starch, or sometimes we have 2 veggies, and it's worked. And another way that you can do this is by setting out a veggie tray before dinner. This is kind of controversial because people are like, well, you don't want to ruin their dinner. But in my house, if they're eating veggies, I'm fine if they ruin their dinner. I don't care, honestly, because it makes the meal last a little bit longer the next day, or they're getting good ingredients in their body and it works. So we always have a little veggie sitting out to munch on, and sometimes they don't eat as much dinner, and sometimes they're like, I really don't want the veggies that you have out, Mom, so we're gonna eat dinner. Finally, the way that I afford the meat that I buy is really simple, but it never occurred to me to do this until I figured it out. And that is, I buy from a local butcher. And you're probably thinking, whoa, Jen, my local butcher is so expensive. Well, what I've done is I have went around to all of my local butchers. I've priced the price per pound, and I've studied their sales because even butchers offer sales. In my area, we have one butcher. I love them, and their animals are not grass-fed, but they are locally processed. They're processed right at their facility. So to me, I can't necessarily afford grass-fed organic, but I can afford local, which makes me really, really happy. One day maybe I'll afford organic, but it's not something that I'm worried about because I know it's local. I know that I am getting this, probably not even 24 to 48 hours after it's being butchered. So I'm happy about that. When I found out that they had seasonal sales, I was really interested. So I went to their store during the seasonal sale and I found the amazing prices. So I wanted to share that with you today. Look at your local butchers and don't just look for 2 weeks. Don't just look for 4 weeks. Look for a couple of months. Study all of the different butchers in your area. And maybe you have to go a little bit outside of your area, and that's okay. I'm so lucky and blessed to have a butcher, honestly, not even 5 minutes up the road that does this. They have a seasonal sale and their meats are usually, I can get it for less than $2 per pound. And that is absolutely phenomenal because our price point in the area that we live, ground hamburger is usually no less than $2.99. So I am getting almost $1 savings on ground hamburger. So let's look at what I get and just look at the prices a little bit, because I think that it's good to have a comparison point, but you have to realize that this can be so very regional. If you are in California, I highly doubt that you're going to be able to get the prices that I'm getting, but it doesn't mean that you still can't get that 50% savings off of what you would be paying if you're following a local butcher. So let's have a look. Look at all of this meat, guys. It is so much, and they actually do not charge an additional fee to package it the way that I want it to be packaged, which is, I also think, is pretty much a blessing. And I'm just going to go over how I get mine packaged and why I get it packaged, and then we'll look at the prices. They do limit how much you can get on the sale, and that's one disappointing factor, but because they do run these every season, so usually it's about every 3.5 months I can get these exact same deals. I don't really mind the limit. So for their ground hamburger, and also I will tell you, by shopping this sale, I do limit myself to the cuts of meats that our family eats. So we don't have filet mignon, we don't have really big expensive roasts. Sometimes I will buy that whenever it's not a month that I buy these and they're on sale at the local butcher, but very rarely do we have more than ground hamburger, chicken breasts, chicken legs, and pork chops. That's usually what I will get, and that's what our family eats the most. So the ground chuck is on sale for $2.87, which is a great price. Grocery stores are usually much higher than this, and the store that I buy it at, which is Huffman's, is actually a lot higher than this. So $2.87, and what I do is I get 4 of them, usually 4. The limit is 10 pounds. I get 4 of them in 1 pound bags. My guys, like I said earlier, has really stressed that when we have tacos, they would like more tacos. So I get 3 packages of 2 pounds. What I'm going to do with this is I'm still going to add the beans to it, but we're going to end up having it more than one night or repurpose it for something else. The next thing that I got there is their rib center chops. So this is bone-in pork chops, and they're limited to 5 pounds. It is $2.47 per pound, which is a really great price. And some people will tell me, they're like, well, you can get at Sam's Club the really big pork and get it chopped up into pork chops or roast for $1.89 or $1.99. And I agree with that. And if that's how you want to go, then do it. So I get 3 pounds, and they actually went a little over on that one. And at a butcher, it's really hard to get right on the nose per pound. Just a warning, you will not be able to say, I want 3 pounds, and they're going to give you 3 pounds. What I do with this 3 pounds, I will actually open up, and I'm going to put barbecue sauce in, a homemade barbecue sauce, and then freeze it so that way that this is ready to go for a crock pot meal. And then this will be something that if we can still grill, we'll grill, and if not, these will be baked pork chops. One thing about the butchers is when they do the sale, it is their boneless chicken breasts, but at a butcher, usually the boneless chicken breasts are double, so it's one whole breast. So you do have to learn a little bit of butchering skills yourself. I will take these out, cut down the center, and then sometimes even half a breast, and put them in freezer bags myself. The price was $1.87, which is amazing. That's cheaper than the $1.99 sales at grocery stores. Last but not least, one of our favorites lately has been their chicken legs. I have found some pretty unique ways to make these chicken legs delicious, and they were on sale for 59 cents a pound, which means that 3 pounds was no more than $1.70. It was probably closer to like $1.60. These were $1.78. Price-wise, what we're looking at is I got 36 pounds of meat that I paid $69 for. There's no tax on raw meat. And when you break that down, it's $1.92 per pound, which is amazing for the and the ground beef. I calculated it up. That gives me 20 meals, and I still have some meals from the last time I purchased this in my freezer, so I will be good for a couple of months, probably close to 3 more months, hopefully right about when the sale comes again. All right, guys, that is how I save on meat, and that is what I get at my local butcher every 3.5 months. Sometimes we do like a special cut of meat, or we want a roast, or I miscalculated our meals for the month. And what I do then is I look at the grocery store and see if it's a better deal at the grocery store that week, or if it's a better deal at my local butcher that week. Again, it's a balance. I don't think it's wrong to eat from the grocery store, and I don't think it's wrong to buy from your butcher, and I don't think it's wrong to buy organic. Whatever works for your budget. Your budget has to tell you what you can afford in groceries. I hope that you liked this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. I would really like to hear how you guys save on meat, and if you're a vegetarian, what do you think is the most expensive for you? If you want more information, you can check out the accompanying blog post at thenifty50lady.com. Bye, guys.